So what is happening is the way you interact with the product is already changing. So your interfacing with the product is already changing, right? So
Right.
so this actually led to me to think about what is going to change from a product perspective
Hmm.
once we in the post-COVID world. That's exactly why I had this thought.
Starting with the mind map that we have already
Yeah,
initiated in our conversation about the article that you are
yeah,
about to write and the relation of the product areas which are going to be affected with COVID-19, right? So we are going
yeah,
to do the mind map, and I saw the first version. So we are going to redo that because or you can open that file that you have already done and you can explain me the areas that you have put and your perspective
yeah. I
with
can do that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and then we can
I'll just
further drill it down further, so like
perfect.
adding
I'm
more
just going to share
things.
my screen.
Okay.
The whole product management life cycle, right?
Hmm.
So typically, the way I see it is you have the product definition. Now, within the product definition, there are a bunch of other activities,
Right.
and there are a bunch of other uh, stuff that you do to achieve them, right?
Hmm.
And then I looked at the second part where you build the product. So
Hmm.
the engineering part where you have a people, process, tools associated with it.
Hmm.
It's your typical process. And finally, the product management, where once the product is kind of into production,
Hmm.
you you have requests coming in from customers or from the market, which you again do a feedback loop into the product, and then do product you upgrade the product. So this is what I had broadly created as the whole product management process. So within product definition, right, what I was thinking is what does it how does a product get defined? I mean, a product would typically get defined by a set of features a product might have,
Hmm.
and in terms of how you use those features, right? So to get there, you do something like you do a series of things, right? You work with the customer, you sit with the customer to understand what exactly the customer is looking for. Two, you might do already if a similar product is existing in the market, you would want to look into your competition and see what features are being offered. So probably get a list of features, right? And when I say when you talk to the customer, there are a series of things again that there you do. You might probably want to do a focus group with the customer. You might want to do a workshop with the customer to arrive at the high level features. So when I say high level features, I'm talking about at the level of a theme or an epic. Right? You are not even breaking it down to a feature and a user story level. I'm talking at the level of a theme or an epic, and then you would refine it to a user story and this one as you go along with your product engineering. Right? So this is the first part of it. So while you arrive at the features, right, one of the things that you would want to also look at or the theme is um, the personas or the use case that you're trying to attend. So
Hmm.
that is what I had called it under behavior. So this is the product definition part. Product engineering, very simple as to how the product engineering process will be followed. So right now with all the COVID thing happening, so I'm also looking at more remote ways of uh, working on products, deploying the products into production, um, you know, doing your development, testing, so on and so forth. If there are any new regulatory requirements that might come in into your product feature, for instance, now with the whole no touch thing happening, and you would want to go for a digital payment solution, right, as part of your product, you might require certain set of people with certain set of skill set for that. You might want to have someone with a digital payment skill on board, right? And because payments has got its own nuances around regulation and all that, like you cannot expose your card details apart from the last four-digit number. And if you're storing your card details, you should be a PCI DSS 5 level company and all that. So there are a lot of regulatory requirements around the card information storage. So you might need special skilled people You might also need special tools because you're going to add a new set of features to your product. So this is from a product engineering standpoint. And from a product management standpoint, your typical customer feedback, your metrics, your usage metrics like installs, uninstalls, and all that. And also in terms of product feedback that would affect your net promoter score, your feature feedback, so on and so forth. And I'm sure for each of these um, parts of your product management, you would have some levels of KPIs and metrics that go in. So this was the high level thought process I had when I put down this mind map. And I was thinking we should probably start attacking the peripheries of it in terms of understanding what COVID is going to do for each one of this. So this was the thought process, in fact.
Okay, this sounds really interesting. And now I'm thinking from the perspective of when you have already mentioned the IoT product. So I'm
Hmm.
thinking that we considering the physical products as well, how the
Mhm.
nature and the behavior is going to like it's going to
I
change.
can tell you one thing that we have seen. Okay,
Hmm.
so I'll tell you the nature of work that we do.
Okay.
So we kind of provide security solutions for remote asset management. So when I say remote asset management, my assets can be anything. So the kind of customers that we are working right now are we work in the oil and gas space. So we are in the essential services space with the COVID situation. Now, because we are in the essential services space and because we are in the oil and gas sector, you typically, if you look at an oil tanker, there are multiple locks that get installed on the various inlet and outlet walls of the tanker. The problem is with each truck, if you have so many locks and keys, it's gonna lead to another problem, which is more in terms of the key management. Because each of the oil depots and terminals handles
Right.
around 200 to 250 trucks, oil trucks,
Hmm.
and they go to multiple retail outlets in the city. So how would you ensure that you're sending the right set of keys? And you cannot send the keys with the driver, right?
Right.
You are actually putting lock and the key together, which is
Right.
a risk.
Right.
So you
Right.
have to ensure the locks that you use have the right set of keys, and those keys are available with a retail outlet. So this was a business problem that we tried addressing. So what we did was we came up with a single locking solution, and we have a device which is a certified device by the Petroleum Ministry, or there is a petroleum standards called PESO. Um, so we have a certified device which works on certain set of business rules, and based on those business rules, you can lock and unlock. So if you were to unlock the truck, right, you just need to give in the OTP which you get on your mobile phone. So the OTP will be only sent to a registered mobile phone, and only place where the truck will be open is typically in a retail outlet. So the retail outlet manager, right, will be getting the OTP and he will unlock it. So for unlocking, there is a specific control panel that is installed in the driver's cabin, and the lock is actually outside. And this is how it works. You know the beauty of it, because there is the it reduces the number of touch points for a person to actually unlock or lock the device. This has become a feature that we are planning to now push forward to our customers, saying unlike a typical lock and key where you have to take a lock, use a key, take handle multiple keys, so which means there is a chance of spreading whatever infection that you might have to other people. Here it's not the case. Here, the once the vehicle is leaving a specific geofence area, it will get locked automatically. And we can also give a feature where you don't really have to unlock using the control panel. You can probably pair your device with the control panel and unlock. So we are thinking in those lines already. So there is
Okay.
a so what is happening is the way you interact with the product is already changing. So your interfacing with the product is already changing, right? So
Right.
so this actually led to me to think about what is going to change from a product perspective
Hmm.
once we in the post-COVID world. That's exactly why I had this thought.
Right. Okay. So we'll go through each of the areas: product definition, management, and development engineering part,
Hmm.
uh, one by one. Okay.
Sure.
And whatever areas you feel and like I will try to suggest, and whatever areas you feel are ready to be added, we'll just do it right away. Okay.
Sure.